Welcome to the Naked Wine Podcast.
Two best friends and wine. Natural and free.
Skin contact sometimes, unfiltered never find. Organic grapes and yeast. Welcome to the Naked Wine Podcast. What episode?
12, I think.
Number 12.
Yay,
That's correct. Number 12. And we are talking about wine on the road.
Wine on the road.
Drinking and driving.
No.
Just kidding.
Not
what wine on the road means. Traveling with wine.
Yes. Traveling with wine, especially if you're like us and you're addicted to the natural shit, then you can't get that everywhere you're traveling to.
I'm going to Hodunk Nowhere, Minnesota this upcoming weekend, and you better believe I'm not just hoping and wishing upon a star that there's a natural wine shop in Spicer, Minnesota. I have a solution, and you have to plan.
Yep.
So, wine on the road, traveling with wine, and we're going to touch on some wine subscription companies because that is a little trick.
Getting natural wine delivered. So basically,
to wherever you are.
Your options when you're traveling and you want to drink natural wine is you either can take it with you, you can find it where you're going, or you can have it delivered to where you're going. So we'll touch on all that, but should we talk about what we're drinking first?
Yeah, and it's delicious.
It's really good.
My tongue has been killing me because I bit the crap out of it over the weekend, and I'm like, miss, I want something. I can't have these super acidic, like, our taste buds have just been going more acidic.
Yeah, we've gone
and
off
I'm like,
the rails.
I need something that's just not gonna like be a sweetheart in my mouth. So,
so
we got
this one.
something local.
Called
If you're from LA.
Amethyst, and we have to shout out Adam
Vervulis.
Adam Vervulis. He also has an amazing natural wine podcast with Mysa, with Ross, called Natural Disasters. So you should definitely check that out.
This is for the YouTube. His winery is called Vin de California, which is a kind of a fun play on Vin de France, the natural winemakers in France who, quote unquote, are rebels for not listing it as a Beaujolais or a Bordeaux, but saying, screw you guys and the regulations, I'm just going to call it Wine of France. So Vin de California, or VDC, I think his cellar, where he makes his wine, is in Pasadena, and his partner has a wine shop there called Good Luck Wine Shop. We're in Venice, so Pasadena might as well be in Las Vegas because it's on the opposite side of LA, but I hope to visit one day.
Yes, we definitely want to check it out. This wine is delicious. I believe there's 3 grapes in this one.
3 grapes in this one.
So
it's a blend.
Barbera mostly.
Primarily Barbera.
And then it's got Pinot Noir.
And a curveball.
Marsanne.
We just listened to like a minute 35 of this French guy. So you've all Googled those before. They're like how to pronounce blankety blank. It's generally a 5-second YouTube video. Bless this French man's heart. It was a minute and a half of him building up to how to say Marsanne.
I thought he said Marsanne.
One of the two.
Anyways, clearly we listened to it carefully. But the cool thing is the 3rd grape, the Marsanne, is a white grape. So that means that this is a co-ferment. So you can either co-ferment white and red grapes together, which means that they're fermenting together in the same vat. And that does something different than blending them, than fermenting them separately, than blending them. I am not sciencey enough. I don't know the difference, but I kind of like the idea of the white and red co-ferment together. Just it sounds sexier.
Sexier. Like they're turning into alcohol together as like a couple. It's almost like
they're going to bed together. Blending them is like boom, set in their ways. They're a fresh couple, but forcing them together.
But this is maybe the marriage of like a 50-year-old wedding anniversary because they've been through the whole little gamut.
Well, it certainly doesn't taste like a 50-year-old wedding anniversary. This tastes
fresh.
So fresh and fruity. When you smell it, definitely got black fruits, plum, blackberry, and then you taste it, and it's just this fruit explosion in your mouth. Remington and I both immediately thought of like a juice box.
Yeah, like a Minute Maid Welch's juice box for adults, but in all the best way possible. So think like, yeah, as Miss said, like berry and dark red fruit, plum, bouquet, explosion in your mouth.
Yeah.
Titch of sweetness, but nothing crazy.
It's definitely dry.
There's acidity, and there's like virtually no tannins, but that's all right because we took this right out of the fridge. And
yeah, so we're drinking it lightly chilled, which I really am enjoying.
Yeah, like if I was a 7-year-old grandma and all my other grandmas were coming over to play, you know, cards on my porch in Georgia and they're all drinking sweet tea, I would pop this in a Georgian summer. Like,
it's very
thirst
refreshing.
quench, but super refreshing.
Thirst quenching, it's very
juice.
Thirst quenching.
All right, so Vin de California, Amethyst.
So yeah, shout out to Amethyst, shout out to Adam.
And it's kind
Thank you for the wine that we're drinking.
Yeah, quick anecdote. Pasadena area was one of the most popular wine regions in all of California in the late 1800s.
I did not know that.
So before Sonoma, Napa, and NorCal became the wine regions of California, LA was the wine region. And the downtown Thai area all the way out to Pasadena was just littered with vineyards.
And what was the original grape? The Mission grape?
The Mission grape.
Mission grape.
The Mission grape, because of the missions that were kind of colonizing.
The missionaries came and they brought the good Lord and the good grapes.
The good grapes. The good juice. So let's hop into it.
Yeah. All right, what should we talk about first?
Let's touch on traveling with wine.
Okay, so we just went to Vegas this last weekend. It was my birthday.
It was. Happy birthday, Miss!
And so we took, how many bottles of natural wine did we take in the trunk of the car? Like,
way too many.
10 at least, I think. Something like that. So, obviously if you're driving to wherever you're going, it's very easy to transport your wine. You just want to make sure that it's not going to get too hot wherever you're putting it in the car.
Vegas was like 115.
So you're just going to need to make sure that it's in the AC, it's not getting too warm, you're not, leaving it in the trunk and going somewhere for a few hours where it could potentially get really hot and cook the wine.
If you don't have a hatchback and the trunk is separate and not 8-seat, I would suggest putting it in the cab of your car.
Or you can get a cooler. We had a
cooler
as
is ideal.
So,
because it's a real
put
thing.
Put it all on ice. Put all those wines on ice, and then, you can get them to the appropriate temperatures.
Because, like, wine can, I think it's called, like, heat damage or something along those lines. Yeah. They can cook. Like, it's a serious deal. If you drive your wine in the back of a hatchback type of car, just in the trunk on the way to freaking Vegas when it's 115, you're going to have cooked wine.
It's not going to be a fun time.
It's not.
So, either put those babies in a cooler, or make sure they're, in the main area where the AC is flowing.
That's if you're driving.
If you're driving.
And sometimes you're not so lucky to be able to just bring a Santa Claus sleigh full of wine with you wherever you're going. So I found these things.
This is cool.
On Amazon called wine skins. And I love them. They're supposed to be like one use, but if you're crafty, you can carefully open them and reseal them and get multiple uses out of them. But they're amazing. They're bubble wrap that is in the exact shape of a wine bottle that has a double seal system in case the wine bottle breaks, heaven forbid, inside. And
obviously you'd have to check your bag if you're flying.
Yes, when you're flying with
Definitely
wine.
over 3 ounces.
For sure. And knock on wood, I've never had one break, but I've traveled so many times with these. Just go on Amazon or wherever else. They're called wine skins.
They look like bubble wrap wine little bottles.
So,
bubble wrap wine bottles is what they look like.
And I mean, I don't know. A lot of people have free check bags with status or, so what? But honestly, it's way worth it to pack your own wine than to pay an exorbitant amount in some random small city or to not have it at all.
And I mean, we've flown with those. We've flown to Tulum with them.
Tulum for my partner's boyfriend. To Hawaii countless times. I'm bringing some on Friday to Minnesota with me. I mean, a lot. Hopefully the liter bottles will fit in there because I have these Latroso Italian, just summer pounder liters that I'm going to try to fit in there to take with me.
So they are awesome. Wine skins.
Wine skins. That's if you're going to check wine in a luggage, in a suitcase while you're traveling on an airplane. There are also specific bougie wine luggage, like specific design, not for clothes, but only to carry wine.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen one of those?
I have not. I've never seen
I may have seen one in person once. I've seen them online and they're not cheap, but like.
How much are they roughly?
You know, they're definitely, I don't know, 100, 200, 300, something like that. But
whereas
like.
the wineskins are like.
Oh, yeah. You can get like a 6-pack for, I don't even know, $20. Yeah. Something along those lines. But that's like if you're going to like Europe or up to NorCal and you want to like bring a bunch of wine back with you. But I highly recommend the wineskins. I've had 0 failures, so it works.
And it's so nice. I mean, to be somewhere like in Tulum where you're in paradise and you know it's someone's birthday and it's a special occasion, and then to be able to like whip out your favorite pet nap at just the perfect moment.
Oh yeah,
it's just amazing.
What about in Tulum? We went to the where we went swimming and snorkeling. We went to the cenotes.
Cenotes, yes.
So we're in the middle of the jungle. Middle of the jungle, and we're having like a lunch break after already snorkeling in this bat cenote cave.
We basically put snorkels on, swam with bats in this crystal clear aqua
with
water.
Stalagmites and stalactites. And
then we like come up in the middle of the jungle just feeling like so refreshed, and it was so fun.
Spiritual, blissed out.
Yeah, blissed out. And then we sit down at this little jungle cafe and they're making us empanadas. And we just whip out our pet nat.
We had our driver, Freddie, store 2 of our pet nats in a cooler. And here we are in the middle of the jungle. We popped 2 pet nats. It was having it with our lunch. It was, I mean, if you're a Natty wine lover, like it doesn't get better than that. We were in heaven.
We were in heaven.
So
we've had pet nats on a paddleboard if you watched that episode in Hawaii.
I had to get it there somehow.
Mm-hmm. So you never know when you need to whip out a bottle of natural wine in paradise.
No, wineskins, totally worth traveling with it. If you're lucky enough to live near a natural wine store, pick some up, travel with it. It'll if you're super in love with it, it's like just hits the spot.
It really does.
What else? I think a really good travel tip is this app. Have you ever heard of Raisin?
Only from you.
Really? Mm-hmm. I think it's a French team or company that started it. It is a natural wine app called Raisin, and I've looked at it now for like 3 years and it's only gotten better and better. It's basically like a map of all the natural wine shops, restaurants that carry natural wine, bars that carry natural wine, and natural wine winemakers on like a world map.
That's all you need.
So wherever you're going, you can look and see who has the Raisin certification. And there's certain characteristics online of what you need to have as a shop in order to qualify for the Raisin stamp. But even walking around LA to some of our favorite places, you can get the Raisin little sticker, and I see shops put it in their window. I've seen restaurants have it in their window. That's awesome. As a symbol of like, we're just strolling around New York, like looking for some good food, and we see the Raisin stamp. We're like, oh look, this Bombas Italian place is Raisin certified. Yeah. They have Natty on their menu.
Love
it's an awesome idea, and I think it's probably the most recognized.
Like a treasure hunt.
Totally, but if you're traveling to an unknown city, open the Raisin app, type in Kansas City, Missouri, because that's so unknown. I've never been, at least. And see if there are any Raisin certified places that you can visit.
Perfect. Okay, so we've got the wineskins, we've got fancy wine luggage if you're trying to be bougie, we've got the Raisin app if you just want
RAISIN, just how you spell raisin. You can go online, but the app works a lot better. I highly recommend popping that up. And they've only added more and more and more places. It was a little desolate like 3 years ago. I was like, you guys are missing a lot of places in LA. But definitely recommend hopping on there. Or if you're traveling to an unknown city, like a quick Google search for maybe a Thrillist article, an Eater article. I mean, who knows who wrote up an article on like how to find natural wine in Kalamazoo.
I mean, we found a plethora of natural wine in Tulum, actually.
We did. Yeah. I mean, it's
you can find it.
It's whether it's a trend for a restaurant that they're trying to hop on board with, or it's honestly just a shift in wine drinkers' taste buds and taste profile. It's here to stay, and I think it can be proven in the number of places that are carrying natural wine.
Yeah, and in like the language they're using to kind of like explain they have it.
Totally.
Well, other options is if you don't want to go with the hassle of bringing your wine, is you can have wine delivered to where you're going, depending on where you're going. Maybe Timbuktu would be hard, but
they'll deliver it.
Wine subscription companies online that they're only working with natural wines. And we did this when we went to Telluride to go skiing recently. We just had our natural wine shipped there, which was super fun. We signed up
That was super fun.
Signed up for
Mysa, right?
Mysa.
M-Y-S-A. I think it's pronounced Mysa. You got a subscription. I got a subscription.
We had both boxes delivered.
I'm just like, hey, yo, Kiki, what's your mailing address? And watch out for some precious cargo.
Yes.
Don't open it up, but we'll share it with you. And I mean, it is perfect. A lot of these companies, I try to support them as much as possible. A lot of them have, intro deals. At least give them a try. If you're not happy, you can cancel. If you love it, you can just switch your delivery address to your home address and keep getting it every single month.
Yep.
I am a huge supporter of any of these brand new companies that are pushing Natty, that are popping up and trying to get the word out.
Yeah.
So Mysa worked wonderfully.
It
did.
And
let me tell you, I was
your addresses out, easy peasy.
In hog heaven because we got a ton of whites and it was Telluride. We had tons of snow. We stuffed them all in the backyard in the snowbank right next to the hot tub.
So there's like a hot tub here and then this big snowbank. And 10 of our natural wine bottles all stuffed into the snow.
Did I ever have an issue getting out of the hot tub one night? I don't remember.
Okay,
I don't recall.
One night, Remington, this is probably 5 bottles missing from the drift at this point. And slowly, one by one, we're all getting out of the hot tub until it's just me and Rem. And I'm like, okay, I gotta tap out. And I get up and I think he'll be in there like 20 more minutes. This guy was in there for 2 more hours. They
rang the dinner bell, and I'm like, okay.
He didn't care.
I'll see you later.
Happy as a clam. He's just sipping his natural wine.
I had an unlimited. I put on my 90s jams, one-hit wonders. I was FaceTiming Dad, FaceTiming my best friend. I had an unlimited supply of ice-cold whites in the snow and an opener.
And
why would I leave
our
that?
friends kept saying, Kendrick, go check on Rem, and I'd open the door, see Rem still king of the castle. I'm like, I think he's fine, guys.
So it came in clutch.
So thank you, Mysa, for that memory.
I wouldn't stay in the hot tub if that was just, Safeway. If those were just like Safeway wine, I'd be out of the hot tub faster than you can say Safeway. But that's not the point.
Anyway.
Other wine subscription companies besides Mysa, MYSA.com. MYSA.
And they have a really great selection. They've got oranges, reds, pet nuts. They have all.
Yeah, I've really impressed with them. They've categorized out their subscriptions by you can just do an orange only. You could do. I don't think they have a pet only, but
I don't think so.
That'd be smart.
White and bubbles.
Yeah.
White and bubbles.
But anyway, they have tons of different categories, mix and match. It doesn't ship to every state because some states are kind of Nazis about alcohol.
But most of them.
Thank goodness California isn't.
And other ones, we can shout out Primal Wine.
I've used Primal. Have you ever used Primal?
I forget if I used Primal or Dry Farms for when I went to Virginia. For that.
Okay.
I used one of them.
Oh, okay. We'll touch on the latter in a second. But I've used Primal to go to Minnesota. Primal Wine. Wait, let me double check it's primalwine.com. PRIMALWINE.com. And I think these are Italian owners. Hopefully they don't listen and then we're French and then they want to kill me. They're totally international, so it's legit.
True.
For wine's sake. But no, seriously, I love these people. They've always been super kind when responding to emails. I've had their wine shipped to Minnesota multiple times and loved it.
I think maybe it was Primal I shipped to Virginia.
Yeah, it could have been.
I was quarantining in Virginia for a month.
Through the panty.
In the pandemic. And let me tell you, whoever was delivering my natural wines, that was awesome.
You had some delivered?
Oh, so much
nice.
delivered.
Perfect. So Primal Wine is also a great resource. Both wine, sometimes, you know, they get small allotments and it's not like every store is going to carry the exact same, you know, it's wine. And it's natural wine, so everything's even more allocated. So sometimes it's kind of fun to check each to see who has what in stock of, you know, whatever you may be liking more at the moment.
And honestly, I love it too, especially if it's a, you know, a site that I trust and I know, it's awesome just to let them mix and match for you and get surprised. If you know it's all natural, you like the kind of wines they're representing, be surprised.
Yeah. So Primal Wine, and then the last one that comes to mind is Dry Farm Wines. And I've never used them.
I think Primal is what I used in Virginia, so I haven't used them either, but our friend has used them, our dear friend, and Carrie, who's one of our biggest
She gets
fans.
the top fan badge.
She does.
We haven't given one out yet, but
she
Carrie
definitely
gets the top fan badge.
And she has used them, and she had really good things to say about them. She really liked them. I think
if anybody, that's Carrie loves a good competition, so I dare somebody to try to take that away from her.
I dare somebody.
That's a challenge.
To take the biggest fan badge away from Carrie.
Yeah, somebody do it. Carrie doesn't like to lose.
So shout out to Care, shout out to Dry Farm.
Dry Farm Wines. So they're interesting. I think they really focus on like their shtick. Like every company kind of has like, you know, a different selling point. You know, it's marketing at the end of the day. Theirs is like sugar, right? Like it can't residual sugar.
Yes, so no residual. No,
up to a certain amount.
Very microscopic amount of residual sugar. So they're a little bit more on the health side of it. So if that's something that, you know, you're on the keto diet or whatever, and it's super important for you to keep your sugar levels down, I highly recommend using them.
They give you like a technical sheet, like a breakdown. Like they must lab submit it, like get it lab tested, and it says like blank micrograms or grams of RS for residual sugar. And it's called Dry Farm Wines, which dry farming is when you don't water your crops. I don't know if all their wines are dry farmed. We've talked about that, I think maybe even in the last episode, the benefits of dry farming, not using water in the vineyard. But I think their big shtick is very little residual sugar. They're not as natty, like unfined, unfiltered. Some of them are, but they're not as like hardcore.
They're not as funky, for sure.
Juice box funky, kombucha funky. Like it might be, I would say, if you're new to natural wines, a nice intro.
Yeah.
If you're trying to swap off the bold California Cab raspberry jam jar, try Primal Wine.
Yes.
If you're going to be already a little adventurous, or you're like, oh my gosh, orange wine, my hipster friend out in Silver Lake's telling me about orange wine, and I just learned that it's not actually made from oranges, and I want to try it.
Then probably
Mysa or Primal Wines.
Yeah. But
for subscriptions.
If you just are wanting to drink healthier, and we talked about this a lot in our last pod, if that's more your goal, then definitely check out Dry Farm Wines, because you can trust that any bottle you're getting from them is not going to have sugar, a lot of sugar,
very minimal amount
in it. And that's great. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, because as we discussed last episode, if there's more sugar, you're gonna have a worse time in the morning. So
I mean, we were just in Vegas for her birthday, and I saw one of those Fat Tuesdays, the shops, and then all the people holding those yardsticks.
They're as tall as me. I swear to God.
They're as tall as Miss.
They're as tall as me. These sugar drinks.
I definitely casted some judgment, but there's a picture on Facebook.
Oh God.
Here's another challenge. Somebody dig it up, throw it in my face. I dare you.
I'm gonna find it.
I've been there, done that, and worst hangover of my entire life.
I still love you.
It tastes so good going down.
Did it though?
But it is a guaranteed way to nap by 3 p.m. and to feel horrendous the next day.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know, those frosés you were drinking in the pool may have...
I blame my friend Jay Froberg.
Yes.
Delicious going down.
All day on my birthday.
So, sugar is nice in moderation. Yes. So if you're going to be a big consumer of wine, which, hey, a lot of us are, we like our little, nightly dose, or maybe you're a morning doser. I don't know, but if you're going to make it a habit or part of your life, you might as well drink something you like.
Yep.
And if you can, try to drink something that's maybe healthier for you.
I mean, summer is here, and it's going to be an epic summer. We all need to be on point with summer bod, so dry farm wines may be the way to go if you want to drink your wine every night. And
Yeah,
try
I know.
to sneak in a couple more abs this summer. You know?
I sneak in some abs. I don't like trying to be on a high horse about natural wines and how it's so much healthier, but I don't know. There's just so much. Maybe I need to dedicate my life to proving all of these theories to be true. But if I'm going to hedge my bet somewhere, I'm going to hedge it on natural.
Oh, 100%.
Over
I mean, that's what we're
what's
doing.
on the grocery store shelf all across the United States.
What do you think we're doing here, babe?
Take it from us. We're that means I'm trying to cheers with you. Take it from us. We're trained professionals.
We are professionals, and we test our theories. We really do. We push it to the limit.
Well, I mean, we may not test it with
We try.
like science and chemistry, but I mean, if
We
our
certainly
bodies and
test
our
it with
livers
quantity.
are any testament, I could say this generally passes with flying colors.
Yeah, I agree.
So, wine and travel. Wine on the road.
Wine on the road.
On the road again.
I mean, I would easily say my two favorite things in life is adventures and traveling, and then wine.
Good wine.
Natural wine specifically, and
Pairing them
friends,
together.
Family and friends. So if I can combine all those three things, that's basically my happy place.
I agree. Like, what's better than having the perfect sip, the perfect cheers when you're overlooking the Grand Canyon or in Timbuktu stuck with a flat to cheer you up? I mean, travel with something that makes you happy. Just travel smart, and hopefully some of these tips may help you in the future.
And honestly, I think it can save you a lot of money too. Because
Totally.
You're spending less money on bottles of wine you don't know about.
Yeah.
Or ordering glasses of wine that can be really expensive. Or ordering bottles
risking
to
a
your room,
hangover just
or risking
because
a
you're going to
hangover
drink what's available.
on your special day.
You don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that.
So there are ways to find Natty no matter where you are. Yeah. So if you're near a natural wine shop, pick some up, travel with it.
Yep.
If you live in the middle of nowhere, there are online subscription companies that will ship to you.
But
DM us, ping us if you have questions
or if you have any other awesome ideas or tips, because we would love to know them.
We would love to know. So whether you're going to Patagonia
or Hawaii.
I've never been to Patagonia. Drink Natty or go home.
Nailed it.
Edit that out. No, I'm just kidding.
No way, Jose.
I think that's about it.
Drink Natty or go home.
That's right. That's exactly what I said.
Cheers.
Cheers.